You make me feel like live streaming. We're having trouble to your destination. Okay. Remove this destination. Weird, man. Why is Rumble giving me such a hard time? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Why is Rumble? We'll keep trying it here. It's not quite 12. Today's December 14th, right? Yeah.
Hey guys, it's
It
Matt.
says it'll start at noon. Yeah. Are we up here? Hey, Tony. Hey, Denise. I don't know. Denise, what are you seeing on Rumble? Denise, if you don't mind going there real quick. I don't get why it's not working, man. It is the weirdest thing. I paid them to make it so I can live stream. Here we are at noon. Ben. Come on. You coming? There you go. Yeah, I'm not just showing what's going on. Benny. That's weird. That is weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. All right. Whatever. Whatever. That just that's annoying to me. All right, let's go edit here real quick. And we're gonna all right, whatever, man. We'll just rock and roll. I might what's up, girl? I'm on a live stream. Want to jump on board? It's Chloe, everybody. You want to do some of your jokes? Do a joke real quick. Just do a joke.
Can't handle pressure.
There's no pressure.
Pressure.
Oh, just do a joke. All right, what's one of the jokes you did in your stand-up?
Oh,
I know they're so cute. What's one of the jokes on your stand-up? Come on, man. Talk about Pablo's spine.
Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. Pablo's a joke enough as it is.
Yeah. He is a joke enough as it is. All right, so whatever. We'll figure out Rumble another time. Maybe I'll try after this just going on Rumble Live to see if I can just do it directly from Rumble itself. I tried that the other day. It didn't work. All right. We actually then what we'll do is we'll go over here. We'll remove this one from that, and then we'll add to the other YouTube channel. You make me feel like dancing, gonna dance the night away. You make me feel like romancing. All right, these live streams will self-destruct upon we're being done here. All right, so it'll stay on Facebook, but I'm going to Whoa, okay. Well, these live streams will self-destruct off of YouTube. So what I want to do today is I have a right capital thing set up that I want to. Yeah, it's weird. It's like you. Whoa! Oh, hey, buddy. Jeez, it's like you use your live stream in your ad. They make you put a video up there for 60 seconds or less to introduce your live stream. You have to do that, and then Then it used to just revert automatically to the regular live stream. And I don't know why it's not doing that. It's almost like, actually, I frankly don't know because I don't need. What we're on now is something called StreamYard. StreamYard will link to Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and all that, which is pretty cool. But you guys make up your mind. But you don't need StreamYard to live stream on Rumble. You just do it directly through there. And I was still able to live stream on Friday on a locals channel. So, again, I don't know what the hell's going on with Rumble. I mean, I pay him $25 a month, so we just might have to stop that. I still put up my videos on Rumble. I'm telling you, I know I said this last time. I'm going to say it again. Don't care. No, I'm on the, we got the main, you're on the second, the second channel is up, Tom. But anyway, what I was saying is that right on, man. Right on, Tom. What the hell was I saying? Well, so my man, I'm not getting to. All right. So what I want to do, I want to do some right capital stuff. Why won't my financial planner help me with allocation? He always dodges my question. Can't speak on behalf of your financial advisor there, dog. I mean, your name's Moneybags. You should be your own financial planner. All right. So let me, Oregon. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring up some right capital. I obviously got to make it very, let's make sure I got, all right, that looks good. And sample. And she's single and. All right. There, share screen. Cool. All right. Here we go. Dashboard. Can y'all see this? Yeah. All right, sweet. Yay. All right. So what we're going to do here is we've got Ann sample, and Ann is a fake person. I mean, just as an FYI. Ann is, I forgot how old she was, 37. All right. She's 37. She has a job making, how much did I say she had a job? $70,000 a year. All right. She has a savings of 3% to her 401k, and she's getting a 3% match. All right. Is that okay with you, Finney? All right. Her expenses, if we go first, so she's spending $22.50 a month. This does not include her mortgage, which is her biggest expense. So she has a $300,000 home, which, and I got her a loan of $300,000 with $289 left on the mortgage. She just bought it like last year or something like that, 2019. A 5.5% interest rate on a 30-year mortgage. So her minimum payments is $1,703. That's only principal and income and interest. It does not include property tax or annual insurance or her annual maintenance. All right. So this right here, these $5,500 a month is on top of her mortgage payment. Now she's trying to pay an extra, a little bit left more to the principal every month, which is fine. All right. So now what we're doing, and she only has would you stop? Loudmouth McCoy. She got $1,000 in VTI, essentially. That's all she has. That's all the debt she got. All right, so that's it, man. She's just single and single and, freaking, we'll say she's a librarian just for simplicity. No pension. And we're going to use her income for Social Security. We're just using right here, whatever Social Security assumes that she'll get at her full retirement age. All right, so let's just make sure everybody's with me on that so far. Yeah, all right, cool. With the Fed talking today, yeah, Denise, the Feds are hunting for Chloe because they want to hear the joke. So Chloe I can't remember. I told you this because I was banned when they did. Chloe did stand up at the University of Georgia by herself. It was freaking funny as hell, dudes. Funny as hell. I was like stunned. Chloe did stand up, just when you go up to open mic. Chloe, Coco. She's not there anymore. And I was like, dude, she's a freshman at the University of Georgia. And goes to a bar, she came and drink and does stand up. The only girl doing it, man. And she crushed. Yeah, I deleted the Rumble. I don't know what the hell's going on Rumble, Vaughn. I literally don't know. I thought I deleted. Let me just go back here and just delete the Rumble thing. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing, man. I don't know why I can't get Rumble to work. I just don't get it. Let's just delete this. Everybody else is able to do it. I'm just not convinced that Rumble is all that in a bag of chips yet. I mean, I like Rumble. I actually go to Rockfin more than I go to Rumble, to be honest with you. I'm not convinced yet that Rumble is all that. And the only reason I say that is because I don't believe the numbers. I just don't. I watched my man Turtle Boy again, and I saw he had almost 50,000 views on a live stream on Rumble, and then there's only like 1,200 on YouTube. I don't believe it for 2 seconds flat. As much as right wingers go to Rumble I don't think all these right wingers are going to Rumble and not on YouTube. I just don't believe it's flat. And when I see that kind of stuff, I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know, especially when his other videos get a couple of hundred views. That's it. I mean, it doesn't make, like, for instance, my video I just did yesterday. I guarantee your retirement plan is wrong. Only has 25 views on Rumble. And look, I mean, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't make sense. And like the last time I did a live stream on Rumble, I got I can't remember, but a whole lot more than that. I mean, like, 300, man. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't look, man. I don't trust YouTube as it is. It's not even that I don't trust Rumble. It's just once you followed the Twitter stuff. I'm not on Twitter. I will never be on Twitter. I don't get Elon Musk he's part of the cabal. For some reason, they feel the need to get Elon Musk on our side for the time being. I don't know why. But anyway, the whole thing with Twitter is what did I was reading? Who was I reading? But he said there is a lady on Twitter who had stupid Jamel Hill. That's what it was. That stupid racist from ESPN who got fired for being a racist. And she had written a book, and she had 2.5 million followers on Twitter, but she only sold 5,000 copies in the first 2 months of her book. And I forgot who, James Dellingpole, I think. I can't remember who wrote the article on it, but he's just shows you how many bots are on Twitter, man. There's no way that someone with 2.5 million followers, if they're legit, only sells 5,000 copies of a book that costs $20. Just no way. And I mean, all these numbers are suspect, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the interesting thing. I always say this about stupid Professor Dave, not a professor, because the guy is just such a clown. He has almost 2.5 million followers on YouTube, subscribers. But other than his, when he challenges Christians or challenges, people who fall flat earth, or he challenges the Discovery Institute, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't get any views, a couple thousand for a regular video. But yet when he challenges, whoever he wants, I mean, I don't care, but he gets, freaking millions. And it's just, but you got 2.5 million subscribers, but the bulk of your videos are only getting a couple thousand views. There's something wrong with that, man. I got guys in my own profession who got 400,000 and 500,000 subscribers, but they don't get crap in terms of the views I get. I don't even have 75,000. It's weird. What's up, CB? Yeah, again, so just for you latecomers, I was trying to do this on Rumble, but again, it didn't work. So these live streams will collapse the minute they're done. The only reason I say is because I don't want to violate the YouTube terms if I say something off this cuff that could be canceled. All right, so I want to go back over this here real quick. Hold on just a second, because what's up, Lee? So we're gonna go to fake and sample. I got a tail hit me on my knee here. All right, so what I want to do here, here's my thinking on this is we're going to savings, we're going to expenses. And I woke up this morning, I said, should she even contribute to a retirement plan? And the reason I say that is because let's check this out. So here's her effective tax rates. The blue is I think she's living, where is she living? In Georgia, I think. Oh, hi, baby cakes. I think she's living in Georgia. Yeah. Sweet. So here's her effective tax rates. All right, the blue is her federal income tax. The green is her state income tax, and the orange is her FICA. All right. So this is her effective tax rate. Her her income tax bracket is right here, 25%. You can see right there. That's her tax bracket. It's actually right now she's in the 22% tax bracket, but her effective tax rate, that's really all that matters, is right here. Let me point this out. So at 44 years old, her effective tax rate, remember, nothing you can do about FICA. FICA is what FICA is. The federal government, the income tax in the state of Georgia, you can do something with deferrals. But anyway, be that as it may. So right now she's at an effective tax rate of 11.2% for the feds. We're just going to talk about the feds. That means for every $10,000 she makes, she's paying $1,120 in federal taxes. All right. That's an effective tax rate. How much money did you make? How much did you pay? Divide those two into each other, and that's your effective tax rate. All right. So she makes every $10,000 she made. I should say in the past tense, she paid $1,100 in taxes. Everybody with me so far? Now that's at 44. Now if we go to income tax bracket at 44, for every 10,000 she makes, she'll pay $2,500 in taxes. All right, that's the difference between federal your tax bracket and your effective tax rate. If your effective tax rate is 11%, that means you paid $1,100 in taxes on every 10,000 you made in the past tense. You made. Your tax bracket is how much you will pay on the next basically dollar, but in this case, for simplicity, $10,000 you make. All right. So the reason why that's so important is because we're like, all right, so if she makes an extra $10,000, we know for a fact she will lose a quarter of that to Uncle Sam, even though her effective tax rate is only 11%. That's pretty important to understand. I hope you guys get that because I'll tell you, Mark. I hope you guys get that because that's important. All right, so let's keep going. So you can see she's in the 25% marginal tax bracket. Her effective tax rate is right here. It's growing, and then it'll level off at 14.5. All right, now what happens here is then it just drops. All right, drops like a bat out of hell. I can't remember which we have here. Hold on just a second. All right. So now I want to go to retirement. All right, so we're going to go to cash flows. And we're going to look at her current plan. Her current plan, she's taking advantage of a 3% match. So she's putting 3% of her $70,000 into her 401k, and she's getting a 3% match as well. So her plan saving is just how much she's deferring. This is her deferral. So she gets $2,100 off that $71,000. Thus, her AGI will be reduced by $2,100. All right. So if we go to the tax thing, let me show you what I'm talking about. We go to the details, the 1040. So she has not $70,000 of wages. She has $67,900. Everybody with me on that so far? All right. So she has $67,900 on wages. Not sure why I have a capital gain here, but we'll just go with it because it's not going to affect anything. So we have so in her taxes, she's paying $6,100 to the federal government in taxes. We have deduction from her 401k. She had $70,000 as her gross income. She took $2,100 from her 401k. So now her total AGI right here, adjusted gross income, is $67,900 minus the standard deduction. And now she has taxable income of $48,000, which means she pays $6,145 to the federal government. That's under the current plan by putting 3% of her salary in. So just keep that in mind, $6,145. If she doesn't put anything in, no contributions to 401k at all, this will say $70,000. It does. And here's her taxes she has to pay, $65.80. All right. So by putting her 3% in, she has to pay $65.80 versus $61.45. For simplicity, $500. All right. So that $3,000 or $2,100 she's contributing saved her roughly $500 in income tax. Let's just make sure everybody's with me on that so far. All right, everybody with me so far? All right. All right. So everybody with me so far, it looks like. There we go. Go back. All right. So now the question is, let's say she actually, what I want to do here is I want to pretend she doesn't get a match. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. I want to compare if it were, obviously if she gets a match, she should take advantage of the match. I don't think anyone would dispute that. What if she doesn't get the match though? So we're going to say she gets no match. All right, let's say she gets no match at all. And you can use 401k, IRA, it doesn't matter, pre-tax money. All right, so now she gets no match, and we're going to go to retirement. I think we know if you get a match, you're stupid not to take advantage of it. Everybody recognizes that. Yes, yes. All right, so now let's go to cash flows. All right. So now we got $70,000 of her is what she has in her 401 is what her salary is. Her expenses include her housing costs. Isn't that interesting? That's her biggest cost plus her day-to-day living expense, $56,500. And her taxes are another $14,000 plus she's saving $2,100. All right, so basically she's taken on a little bit of debt to basically pay for her 401k. Ideally, you don't do that, but anyway, I'm messing around here. Is what we're talking about. All right, so basically she's taken on debt to allow her to save pre-tax. I don't recommend doing that, but be that as it may. All right, now she's getting a 3% raise each and every year. All right, her expenses are $56,000 plus taxes. So basically, her income is just about matching her expenditures for savings, medical care, her mortgage, and her day-to-day living expense. That seems pretty reasonable to me, actually. All right, so now we fast forward, and she's getting a 3% each and every year increase in her income. Her costs are going up by 3% as well. Her taxes are going up. I mean, everything's following suit here. So you can see she's basically she's starting to get a little bit more ahead. Then all of a sudden, the expenses right there drop. Right there, they drop $15,000 a year, from $73,000 to $56,000, and now she has surpluses right here, $32,000 a year. What would be the reason for her expenses to drop so much, man? Anyone want to guess? Why would her expenses drop so much? And this is one of the reasons she shouldn't panic, by the way, as a lot of people do. Why would her expenses drop so much? That sucks. Why I got to be on YouTube. I can't play other music. I got a song in my head by Deep Purple. I'm a highway star. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Jim comes to it. Jim Simon says paid off house. Exactly right. So she pays off her house. Now she's got buku surpluses, right? But I mean, she's 56 right here, Josh. Oh my goodness, look at her outflows. Oh my goodness, she got 119 of income. Her outflows are 112. She only has $6,000. Oh my goodness, of positive surplus cash flows. Oh no. And then we go to what her accounts are at 56. And we say, oh my goodness, she only has 56, 150,000. She's not going to be able to retire. Oh no. Now we got massive amounts of liquidity, $32,000 because her house is paid off. All right. So what's happening with that excess money is going into a brokerage account. You can see, remember we had $32,000. We're going to go to net flows and we're going to see she has $32,000 when she's 58 going into her brokerage account, right? So she has all these surpluses. She's going to work for another 10 years, and we can see how much these accounts are going to be worth. By the time she's 67 years old, she went from basically at 56, basically 100,000 to 67 to 666,000. Oh no. But she went from, I mean, look at that. She quintupled her retirement accounts or her accounts, whatever, from right here to right there because her mortgage is paid off. I mean, this is the whole thing is so freaking stupid. What people are like, oh my goodness, they're going to run out of money because they only have 99,000 saved. Yeah, because they're spending so much on the freaking house, you fool. Not you guys, of course. On top of that, that's not even her net worth. Her net worth consists of this thing called the freaking house. which is $362,000 by the time she's 57. There's no mortgage on there. So now she's 67 years old. She has $400,000 of equity, and she's got a retirement or investment accounts of about $600,000, $700,000, $650,000 for simplicity. She got $1 million net worth, man. Well, right there. There we go. $1 million net worth. Crazy. All right, so now we say, okay, but Josh, look, Josh, she's going to run out of money because of Monte Carlo says she's going to run out of money. Oh, boy. Look, it says she only has a 39% confidence. Oh, no, what's going to happen, Josh? Well, what? Just go back to here real quick. Let's just change these around real fast. I'm a highway star. We're going to change this right quick. Boink. There we go. All right. Hopefully these are similar. Yeah, right. Now she's at 39%. Look, Josh, she's going to be 83 years old, and the median liquid net worth is only 0. That means 50% of the time she has less than nothing, or 0. And 50% of the time she has more. But look, oh my goodness, there's no way she's going to make it happen. All right. So now we're going to go back to cash flows. So freaking infuriates me. All right. So now she's 80. What did we say? 82 or something like that. All right. So let's go to right here. She runs out of money right there. I mean, this is a linear rate of return. So we're just going to say she ran out of money right there. All right. At 84. But she has a positive net worth. How could that possibly be? She has a positive net worth. Well, because she has a primary home that's worth almost $500,000. On top of that, if we actually look at her income, she has income stream at that point of, look at that, income flows. What's her Social Security? 60,000. 60,000. Now that's, 20, 30 years from now. So that's the equivalent of probably about 2,500 today. But still, I mean, she's living off 30,000 a year roughly of Social Security, and that's 60,000 in future dollars. All right, $30,000 a year, no debt in your late 80s. Interesting. And on top of that, her expenses consist of what? Look, watch her expenses. Oh my lands, they jumped through the roof from 71,000 to 100,000. Why would that be? Oh, because healthcare now. We're inflating healthcare at 5.5%. So she still has her housing costs in terms of property tax, homeowners insurance, and various maintenance. Her healthcare costs, and because she's on Medicare at that point, is significant expense. She's still living off the equivalent of right there at $2,500 a month, 30,000 a year. So now the 30,000 plus this would be 11,000 plus was 6,000. So the 42, roughly $50,000 right here in today's dollars. It's $100,000 in essentially, in what's that? 30 years. All right, so she's living off $50,000 a year as her expenses, of which $30,000 is from Social Security. All right, so she needs $20,000 a year. That's it, man. $20,000 a year, and that's if she continues to live like she's living now, and I highly suspect she won't. Because what happens is, as I just showed you yesterday, the vast majority of people actually, when they hit retirement, they start spending less. That's just a fact. But they spend more in healthcare. Already adjusted for that. Already including in that, because we're including this in healthcare at 5.5%. All right. So now what I wanted to do though is I wanted to say, well, what if she did do a 3% match with a let's go to taxes here real quick. And she's not gonna have much of tax at all in this regard. I mean, look at that. There's nothing. Taxes are gone. She don't have to worry about it. Again, because I don't think I had her put anything in. Hold on just a sec. Or did I? Can't remember. She did. She was putting 3% in. So now let's do no tax, no contributions, and let's see what the tax man looks like. The tax man cometh. So that's current plan. That's proposed plan. Yeah, same thing basically. So, hi. So, I mean, whether or not she wants to do taxes, contributions to her retirement plan isn't a huge issue because the tax man will never get her that much. So she might as well in this regard because she's in a high marginal tax bracket. Again, going back to the marginal tax details, I mean, this is where she is right now. Her federal effective tax rate is only 9.5%. But she's in a 22% marginal bracket and 25% in the future. and she'll never be anywhere near that again. So she should take advantage of doing the pre-tax income, because that will reduce her taxable, like I said, already by $500 a year. Now that might not seem like much, but compounded over 30 years, that's a lot of money. But now let's add the 3% match, by the way, and just watch the difference here, man. Because I think I took off the 3% match. Yeah, I did. And we're just going to do a 3% match, and we're going to hit save, and we're going to hit retirement. And watch what happens here with the extra money that her company gives her. Now she's at 56%. And this is just your liquid net worth. That means 56% of the time she actually had money when she died, and she had 46,000 as a median in today's dollars. That's already had inflation taken out. So what's happening here is not only is she not running out of money, she's leaving some money downstream as well. And she still has a house that's worth, I forgot what we said, 400, 500,000 bucks, something like that. I can't remember what I'm giving her on the house appreciation. Let's see, property, only 1% on the house appreciation. Yeah, so that's stupid. I'm just going to get more than 1%, but be that as it may. All right, so now I want to see how much she has in her account, because she is saving $2,100 a month. I mean, a year, excuse me, right here. And we want to see what her accounts are worth, net worth, and her 401k right there. So she said, so basically half of this is her company's. And so when we get to the time she's 67, she has basically 400,000 bucks. 200,000 of that is attributed to her match, and the other 200,000 is attributed to her deferrals. Once the mortgage is paid off is where the real money starts kicking in, because now she has all this excess surplus of income that she really needs to start scoring away into a brokerage account of some sort. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying, because all right. JDB in the house. With CB, yeah, no house payment. Oh, we're going to talk about that. All right, cool. JDB. My man did a. All right, so now I want to just I want to show you guys here too, just while we're yapping. I mean, she's 38 years old. All right. I mean, what if she started just a couple years earlier? We're gonna make her 35. And I know that most of you guys aren't in this category. It doesn't really. I mean, I get that, but let's make her 1987. I just thought it'd be fun to look at 35. I mean, here we're an extra 2 years. I mean, you guys know all this, I know, but it's fun to kind of look at it. Now she's at 64%. I mean, so the point being is that if you're getting a match, it'd be stupid not to take advantage of it. The problem that I have though is that this is the issue with her. What's this lady's name? Ann Sample. She, if you look at her net worth, she has no non-qualified assets, none. And until that mortgage is paid off, it doesn't see. Now it's starting to build a little bit, but not much right here. And I think that's a mistake. Now we can make these numbers any way we want, junk in, junk out, but I don't think it's worth it, frankly. Now, obviously, if you're taking advantage, if you're taking advantage of 3% match, you should. But let's make this, instead of a 401k, let's make it a Roth savings, and we'll delete that and we'll make it a Roth. All right, and we're gonna do. She's gonna do 3%, and she's got a 3% match. Now these numbers aren't going to look as good because I just showed you what it's going to look like 20, 30, 40 years from now, hell, 50 years from now. It looks better if she deferred her money. I don't think so. And I'm going to show you why. Uh-oh. What's going on? There we go. If we go to, retirement. We go to, actually, yeah, cash flows. There we go. All right, net worth. All right, so these qualified assets, though, are Roth, if that makes sense. So you still have the 10% penalty, but you don't have the taxes you got to pay on these anymore. If that makes sense. So basically, I mean, she's in her mid 30s. By the time she's 45, she'll have $43,000 of tax-free, not penalty-free, but tax-free income she has access to, if that makes sense. I mean, she will have to pay tax on it again, I grant you, but it's less than what it would be because she already paid tax on her contribution. This won't be quite as tax friendly as a full-fledged Roth that you contribute with after-tax dollars because she's still getting half of this will be in her deferred account. I'm just telling you, man. I think I got other loans. What's this other loan thing? What's that about? Let me clean that up, man. Other loan. Oh, because she take on a okay. Yeah, her cash flow is negative, so she's borrowing to fund her. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think see, this stuff right here is fine, but it's so far out, and we're talking. I mean, look at this. She's 35. We're talking 30 years from now. That's a lifetime, man. And I just think having liquid assets that are easily accessible are worth the risk of having a worse retirement plan from a Monte Carlo perspective, if that makes sense. And I'm just telling you, as a 52-year-old guy, when I started my business, I was 47. I was done with it working for the man. I had to. You can't borrow from your 401k if you're leaving the company. You can't. That's no longer an option. You can keep the money in the 401k, but you can roll it to an IRA, or you can leave it there, but you can't borrow from it. So no matter what you do with that money, if you're going to deploy it to your own endeavor, it's going to be taxed and penalized. That's all there is to it. And a Roth will be taxed and penalized if there's gains. So there's less of a tax, but there's going to be some. And I don't think it's worth it to put the handcuffs on, regardless of what the software models say, because the models are so far into the future. They're saying, well, Diane, or what's the name, Ann, when you're 85, 50% of the time you have no money. And Ann's like, I'm 35 now. Yeah, exactly. 50 years from now. Like, dude, we're not, what? We're not going to be around. Just liquidity. So I was talking to this guy yesterday. Nice people. I can email him back. He's making bank, and he's like, should I defer? Because I know he talk a lot. I said, no. I mean, yes, 100%, because he's making his big bucks. I said, absolutely, should defer. But you'll hear me do videos where I'm telling people don't defer anymore. And I just want to make it clear that when I'm doing those videos, it's not for you. It's for the general population, because the general population isn't making the kind of bank he's making, if that makes sense. And by the way, he had a bunch of cash, literal cash on the side anyway. And so I was like, yeah, you already got, you're cashed out. So no reason. So he's still defer. And when he retires, then he won't need to do that. Thanks, guys. You can remove and use Roth contributions only after 5 years, no penalty. Not on a Roth IRA. You have access to the contributions at any time without penalty. Just remember that. On a Roth IRA, it's completely, your contributions are there for the take. Is a SPIA deferred income annuity better for tax purposes? Yeah. Right on, Judy. Judy says she only went to Rumble when I was in timeout on YouTube. Yeah, this sucks. I mean, I pay Rumble for the opportunity to live stream. If I can't do that, I'll stop doing it. But I will look at it later on. Billy says, is the SPIA deferred income annuity better for tax purposes? It all depends on your stuff. There's no way to know that. I will say though, with this guy I was talking to yesterday, if he's going on Obamacare, and now you're getting, he's getting 4% on certificates, which is taxable as ordinary income, and he doesn't need Obamacare, thankfully. But if he were to, he'd want that money in a deferred annuity, 100%, because a deferred annuity is income tax deferred. Thus, it doesn't flow to your 1040, and thus Obamacare doesn't recognize it. And so, basically, in his regard, if you're 60 years old, you got $1 million in cash and ladder CDs. You should put that money into a deferred annuity if Obamacare is on your measure, because that way you don't have that extra $40,000 of income being declared, that will basically remove the ability to get some premium tax credits. I was talking to these other people yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember, but they had a bunch of income from brokerage accounts. They had a bunch of money in post-tax accounts. So they had a bunch of capital gains from their investments that they have, qualified dividends, and taxable interest as well. So right out the gate, they're at $50,000 a year. And there's nothing you can really do about that. And I mean, it's a good problem to have, man. There's not much you can do about that simply because with the qualified dividends, taxable interest, and long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains, they're already getting hit to some degree with, and so they're going to lose really much of an ability to qualify for Obamacare tax credits. Yeah, it is what it is, man. And we were budgeting them paying $2,000 a month for health insurance anyway, so it wasn't a bad thing. It was what it was. But again, Caesar always gets Caesar, man. I mean, don't. This is the thing that people beating their head. Hey, buddy. Hey, hi. Can I have a kiss? What? You growling? Look at him. Hi, growls. What? Anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. Thanks, Pablo. Yeah, so don't beat your head up against the wall tax wise. Caesar's going to get what's Caesar's. God's going to get what's God's, and that's all there is to it. So remember, you only pay tax because you got the money. You don't pay tax if you don't have the money. I mean, so I don't know. I this is where my whole come to Jesus moment with the Republican Party is, all right, enough of the tax stuff, man. I know Jeremy's here. He's like, yeah, I pay too much in taxes. Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, we're not Sweden, we're not freaking Venezuela. And the Republican Party would learn a way to solidify their base by offering strategies to solidify Social Security and Medicare, and not focus on, like Herschel Walker, the tax cuts. They're going to raise taxes. Herschel Walker, he wasn't in the game. I'm telling you right now. It's attack dog right on, man. Showed off for the camera, right? Hey, Josh, I'm 61. Wife is 63. I just retired. I will start Social Security at 62. Does my wife need to wait for me to start Social Security to have her spousal? Yes. So she can take her own Social Security for sure, but she won't get any spousal benefit until you file 100%. I think young people with lower salaries should max Roth IRAs. I completely agree, Joe, 100%. That's where this whole point where I was going with this is like, man, I just think if you are in a 12% tax bracket. Now, remember, the lady we're just doing, Ann, she was in a 22 and soon to be 25% tax bracket. So she should, because she's single, she should definitely do a pre-tax. Definitely. I mean, whatever. When you're in that, it's kind of on the cusp there. Yeah, I still would rather have her liquidity. It's one of those, there's no right or wrong answer there. I don't want to say definitely. She has no liquidity. Liquidity is king. Liquidity is king. I don't care what anybody says, even if that means you pay more in taxes. Having no liquidity for 15 years like she would do if she did deferred, I don't like that, man. Either way, definitely take advantage of the match. That's what I meant to say. But however, she, whatever. But if you're in a 12% tax bracket, say you're married filing jointly between you and your spouse, you're making $90,000 a year. There's absolutely no reason to defer. Just go, literally none. Either do a Roth or do a just old fashioned brokerage account. When I say there's absolutely no reason, I guarantee someone could say there is a reason. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? But kind of proving special relativity. Didn't you hear about Eddington? He proved it. No, he didn't. Well, we have this instead. No, don't you know the Lorentz contraction? I get so frustrated with the which is another reason I want to share with you guys this. I very much enjoyed my man Michael Edison, if I can find it. Let's see, 1 second. Crimson and clover, over and over. If I can find this article right here. Yeah, ooh, this is pretty good. Fern Finn says no income this year. She should convert some, or he should they them. Sam Brenton, they them. Should he or they or she convert to a Roth? Yeah, probably, but I don't know your whole situation, Fern Finn, so I can't tell you for sure. I didn't scratch the dog's leave that right on, man. A lot of advisors are saying there's impending response due to lower PEs. Do you expect the stock market to increase next year? Watch my video I did. I talked about my market forecast. So obviously you didn't watch, dude. Come on, watch it. Goofing on you. Yeah, Vaughn, I don't know. I mean, take some Wellington off the table to do the I wouldn't, because I don't think the bonds are anywhere near the upside that they have, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't, but do what you got to do. Why? I mean, the bonds are the upside for next year, and I 100% could be wrong, but I wouldn't do that. No way, man. No way. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do another video, which is Denise on here. She'll like. I'm going to do downstairs on the screen on the whiteboard. My man emailed me today, and this is gonna be fun because he emails. He goes, basically, he's saying, Josh, I don't know who this guy was. It was a good email. He wasn't being a dick, but I was chuckling a little bit. He says, clarity, please, on provisional income. I've watched many of your videos on YouTube on provisional income, but I went to a Social Security community education class last night, and the instructor told me that it is not correct, that your old buddy Josh is wrong. He said if the provisional income falls into the third category, the entire amount of the provisional income, this guy is wording his thing wrong, which makes me think he's not understanding how it works. But I'm assuming he doesn't say the entire amount of the provisional income. I'm assuming he's saying the entire amount of Social Security is taxed at 85%. This is a problem. If you're not sure the wording of how this works, you're hearing two different things, but you're not sure. This is why I like simplicity. This is why simplicity is king, because provisional income means something. Your provisional income in of itself isn't subject to taxation. It's what is determining is how much of your Social Security benefits are subject to taxation. So I'm assuming this guy meant to say if your entirety goes into 85% of the provisional income, 85% of your Social Security is subject to taxation. And that could be a bad assumption on my part because he says it not just once, but twice. Remember, your provisional income doesn't determine anything other than how much your Social Security is subject to taxation. That's it. You don't tax on provisional income. It's saying I have provisional income XYZ, thus this amount of my money is subject to Social Security tax, is subject to income taxation. All right, so I'm assuming that's what he thinks, but I'm not sure. Then we're gonna go with it. And then he said he saw a video where some other guy said from another person. He says that when you calculate your provisional income. And then this guy says again, then if you calculate your provisional income, if this amount lands in the third category, your entirety of your Social Security is subject to 85% taxation. Anyway, so I must have updated his email. Anyway, so so we'll see. We're going to do the notes on that, and we're going to do a thing because it's actually quite easy. So I emailed him. I said, "Are you married? Please send me the link to the other guy's video. I haven't watched it yet, but I will." And then I said, in the interim, I highly encourage you just go on TurboTax and crunch the numbers yourself, man. No big deal. Just crunch the numbers. If you actually, what we could do. Ooh, tell you what we're gonna do. How old was this guy? Let's pretend this guy was. I think he said he was 70. Hold on just a second. We're gonna pretend All right, so here we go. We're gonna go to profile. And we're gonna. So let's do this. Crimson and clover over. All right, he's two. All right, so this guy's 68. All right, so 68 would be he was born in 1960, 55. Right? What would it be? 67. All right, there we go. We'll say 19. Oh, all right. In Georgia. There we go. And he says he'll have his Social Security will be $37,800. All right, $37,800. 37,800 right there, and that would mean his what's that? About 3,000, about $3,100 a month or so. We'll just. See, $3,100 a month. There we go. And we'll just say he's taking that. He's got a pension of $33,252 a year. 33,252 a year. Oops, pension. 33,252. Right? Looks pretty good. All right. And he's no longer working. Blink, we'll just say 65. And let's see what we come up with here. And we don't have any other income. Net worth that looks good. That looks good. All right. And we'll just get rid of the house for the time being. All right. We'll just get rid of that. Blink. All right. So let's see what we come up with this guy here. We're going to go to taxes. And we are going to see. Let's see what's tax. So there's his tax bracket. Let's make it 25%. Let's see what his income tax is. Is not proposed. I want to see what his effective tax is. His effective tax is about 11%. So we will go to the 10. Let's make sure we're looking at this right. Y'all can, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Cash flows. All right. So he's got. I want to. So he's got 70,000 of income right there. His tax about $4,000. All right. Let's see what the 1040 looks like. Let's go to 1040. So here's his Social Security. Here's his pension. Here's his Social Security. 20. So he's got basically half his Social Security is not subject to taxation. So he's got 33,000 as a pension. Half his Social Security is basically tax-free. So he take his taxable Social Security, which is 20,000, plus his pension. His AGI is 52,000. Subtract his standard deduction, and his taxable income is right there, $38,000. He's paying $4,000 on his total income now. Is $70,000 bucks. So his total income, that's in 2023, is his total income tax, I should say, $4,300 on what is that, $70,000 of income. We go over here to effective tax rate. That seems maybe that's right. What do you say? 4,300. Right? Do my calculator. I drop all my calculators down the toilet, and I need to freaking get it back. $4,300 divided by 70,000. Yeah, he's a I got him a 6.14% effective tax rate. All right, so we'll take that, man. What do we got? Let's see why they jump up so much here. We got RMDs or something. Let's see what's happening here. I'm not sure why they got the tax rates jumping up. It looks like his expenses. So his income, about $70,000. We go to right here. Social Security is increased by 2.4. Maybe his pension's fixed. Let's do a fixed pension. The pension is going to be fixed income. And I'll do a video on the whiteboard about this. Let's say no increase. It might be, I don't know, but let's take a look. All right, there we go. So let's go to tax. Effective tax. There we go. All right, so effective tax rate. Let's go to details. I want to see the 1040. Let's go to 2031 for simplicity. All right, so again, same thing. He's getting about roughly 19,000 of tax-free Social Security, a little bit less than half. He's got some. Anyway, he's got some qualified dividends. That's and he's not. Who knows? He may or may not have any. I don't know. But basically, what we're saying is he's not spending enough, so he's reinvesting these into a brokerage account. He's getting qualified dividends. What we could do, actually, let me stop for just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so he spends all his. Let's see, Treat Bank. I'm going to make sure that he spends. Oh, do I got to do that for everybody? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Hold on just a second. I don't. There's a way you can make it so he spends all his money as opposed to reinvesting it. But that it's weird. I got to do that for everybody, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah. All right. So if we go back to taxes here, bring you guys back. All right. So, I mean, again, effective tax rate is 10%, 9.4. I mean, that just means if he has $80,000 of income, he's paying $8,000 in taxes. All right. He's getting half his Social Security tax free. Now, the reason it's going down is because this pension right here is not adjusted for inflation. And so he's losing money relative to inflation. But if we make his pension back, we can say, let's make it adjusted for inflation as well, which it might well be. It's going to be the same thing. We'll make it adjusted for inflation. Let's say general inflation. Let's just do a customized increase. We'll say 2.5%, 2.5%, 2.5%. Now, I haven't seen what these other guys have done in their video. I may or may not look at it. I don't care. But I just don't really care that much because I know what I know. The numbers I know are right. When other people have different opinions, a lot of times it's just the wording that they're not quite understanding what's being said, as opposed like the difference. I can't stress enough. It's kind of like when people say, I'm going to convert, and what they mean is do a rollover. All right, I'm going to convert from my 401k to my IRA. I hear that a lot. I'm like, no, or they say SSI for Social Security income. No, I mean, look, I get it, but you're not converting when you're doing a rollover. That's a completely different thing. You're not converting from a 401k to an IRA. If you hear that, that means you're moving from a tax deferred to a tax free via a Roth conversion, which is taxable on the very beginning. You just got to use the right terminology. It's not really up to you to figure that out, but a lot of financial advisors or people who follow this, they're almost like too cute by half, and they intertwine concepts with other concepts that confuse everybody. It's kind of like a crediting rate on whole life insurance. I think there's a whole life insurance guy who's on the chat here, and I'm not saying he does this, but a lot of insurance guys will say, yeah, you're getting a 6% interest rate. No, you're not. That's not an interest rate. That's a crediting rate, completely different. You just look at the enforced illustration, and I don't want to get to that much right now, but a lot of these things, and again, if you're not converting, your SSI is supplemental security income for poor people. Social Security is your retirement benefit, your spousal benefit, or your survivor benefit, and then there's SSDI, your disability income. OASDI, old age survivor disability income. That's what OASDI stands for. And I'm not going to bash this guy, but be careful about not knowing what you don't know and assuming you do. And again, the easiest way is just to run on TurboTax and run the stuff yourself. It's not hard to do. It's free. But anyway, so we go, okay, here, let's go back to, again, 2032. And we can see here, now his pension has gone up to 41,000. Now, remember, Social Security taxation is not indexed. So now we only have 10,000 of tax-free Social Security, whereas before we had 20,000. All right, because the Social Security taxation numbers are set in 1983 numbers. Thanks, Reagan. And the 1993 numbers. Thanks, Clinton. And no one did a damn thing about it. Freaking scumbags. Yeah, so I'll a tip of the hat to your old buddy Josh being right once again, but we'll get down there and kind of show you how to do it again. It's fun. All right, so let's see what else. So I wanted to show you this. Toilet talk. But, well, Harry, you're an engineer, so I imagine you have a calculator with you everywhere you go. Toilet talk. I'll get banned from YouTube for toilet talk. You know what I'm saying? Oof. My phone fell in the toilet. I was going to the Freedom Fest in Tennessee. I sat on the pot and some freaking and I had it in this thing right here, my phone in the pocket. And I sat on the pot in some rest stop in Tennessee. And I get up, and my phone fell in there. I said, "Snake!" I was like, "Oh no, this thing is broken." I don't know what. I've had this phone for 5-6 years now. My wife's always saying, "There's a new phone on sale at Costco. Do you want a new phone?" I was like, "Nope, it works just fine, sister." I probably got. Yeah, I probably got. Well, maybe my wife does. I probably have the worst phones in our whole house. All right, let's see here. Dividends on insurance are great. If you can get an insurance policy from a mutual company that pays a dividend, that's freaking fantastic. I'm a huge fan of whole life insurance. I'm not a huge fan on sales guys who pretend the crediting rate is the interest rate. It drives me crazy. I'm like, dude, I tell you, rookies, I'll never forget when I first started the channel in probably 2018, been going on for a year, had a live stream, and some rookie was saying, "Oh, we pay 6%. I said, "Show me the in-force. I want to see if I dumped $100,000 in there, will I have $160,000 simple interest rate?" And the answer, of course, is no, because you're not paying 6%. That's what you're crediting, but there's a cost of commissions, there's a cost of insurance, all the stuff that goes with it. Doesn't mean it's a bad product, but when you get caught saying something like that, people are going to walk away from you saying you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and thus you get whole life. Now, I'm not talking universal life insurance, my friends. I'm talking about whole life. You give whole life insurance a bad reputation. And that's where people like Dave Ramsey are like, "Oh, it's a scam." No, it's not. And then he said, "Well, not after 10 years. I said, "Well, okay, well, you went on this channel saying that you freaking were given a 6% interest rate guaranteed by insurance, Mass Mutuals." I knew it was. That has always paid dividend. I said, "But then we already figured out after 10 years you weren't doing that. So let's see what the in-force illustration looks like after 20. How much cash do you have in there? You should have $220,000, and you don't." I mean, it's just because of cost of insurance, cost of commissions, all this stuff. And I sit there, I'm like, man, you life insurance guys, you have a good product on your hand, but the way you guys sell it is so over the top. I'm not talking to, yeah, right on, Michael. Look at my man. Yes, sir. Too much hype on infinite banking. Could not agree more. I haven't done a video on infinite banking in probably 4 years. Man, that's right on. I said, freaking whole life insurance kicks ass, especially right now. I mean, think about it. If we have low returns, higher taxes, qualified dividends are great. Fixed income is good, but it's ordinary income interest that comes out. What's even better, potentially, is whole life, man. And people are like, "No, whole life's horrible." Like, dude, are you kidding me? I mean, the people say that don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're mixing universal life with whole life. And I got no qualm with universal life either, as long as people know what they're buying. But the whole life is for your whole life. You do what you're supposed to do. The insurance company is guaranteed to do what they're supposed to do, and everyone's happier for it. Crazy. Oh, it drives me up the wall. But yeah, infinite banking, it drives me crazy. It's like, the guy who kind of turned me to permanent life insurance. He always he died, but he used to use this illustration like, look at my permanent life insurance, and he was using a whole life versus your 401k. I can't remember this. His name was Dave. I said, "Yeah, but Dave, You're asking a guy to fund this for 10 years at $20,000 a year. A guy who's only making 80,000 a year isn't going to be able to fund his whole life for the next 10 to 20 years at a quarter of his income. It's like, come on. Yes, you can max that puppet, make it look great, but come on, man. I mean, now rich people, sure, but I was like, geez. All right, so I want to share with you this my man's article here, right here. Oops. Bow, 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 bow. Well, I don't hardly know her. All right, so here's my man Michael Edison. Everyone, anytime Edison writes an article, you should read it because the guy kicks ass. I've interviewed him a couple times. You know, I came out as a big right winger. He's a big lib, and it turns out we have a lot of similarities. Actually, he's stationed in Hong Kong. Still, I think I can't remember. Yeah, because he teaches at some Chinese university, econometrics or something like that. He's just a mathematic whiz, man. This guy. It's interesting too because my first take on Edison was, probably 15 years ago. He had fallen for the green energy scam, and I said, Michael, and it was interesting. I love Michael Edison. The guy kicks ass, dude. But I said I was so frustrated by him because he was bashing the investment guys with their fake numbers. I said, but that's what that's not life insurance. That's what the green people do, the Michael Manns of the world and stuff. I said, I can't believe you don't see it because you see everything else, but these guys you don't see. He goes, and I'll never forget. And it's comedy. So why would they lie? I said, what? I said, why would they lie? Are you kidding me? Anyway, so he's a big proponent of nuclear energy now, which is great. I think he still, feels the fossil fuels need to go to be replaced with nuclear, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I can't stand big oil anymore than I can't stand big green, but at least big oil can heat my home. Big green can't. It's just a freaking scam. The biggest scam perpetuated on humanity. A big green. Huh. Weird though. Do you know the King James Bible? They got rid of like 17 books in 1885. What? Because everyone's like the KJV is God's word. I'm like, really? Why'd they get rid of these books in 1885, nonetheless? And the reason they got rid of the books because Jerome thought these 17 books were not, they didn't really belong, but they kept them in the Bible for reference. And the King James himself was more of a Catholic, if anything. He's like, oh. The Catholics reference these books. I don't want to just throw them out because I don't want to, create controversy with Luther and the Catholics and whatnot. So we'll keep them in there as part of a reference point. And then in 1885, you're out of here. And I said, wait, I just find it funny how everyone and their mom thinks that their version of the Bible is the one that's spoken by God himself. I said, really? So, the King James, we can just get rid of all these books in the Bible, just 1885. And the whole point was the Protestants really, really did. And this is the thing. Well, I'll show you this book I got, Inventing the Flat Earth. And I actually don't believe this guy at all either, where he's trying to defend Catholicism, basically saying that Catholics weren't, flat earthers, where the Protestants were saying they were in the 1800s, aligning with the Darwinists to kind of make fun of the Catholics. Well, they're flat earthers. And that's simply not true. But be it as it may, the Protestant at that point has some issues where they really were anti-Catholic. And you can see it, the Blaine Amendment in Maine, the guy for the Center for Maine, where they could not have Catholic education, educating their own kids according to the Catholic. It was very interesting, man. I'm telling you, and that's not to bash the Protestants, it's not to bash the Catholics or anything, but I just find it very, very interesting when the Orthodox sets apart, where everyone's like, oh no, mine is the only solution to salvation. You're like, really? Why? Well, because my Bible says this, that, and the other. Well, my Bible says this, that, and the other. So which one's right? Well, mine is right. Okay, gotcha. Why? Well, because King James said so. Why? Well, because of Saint Jerome. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, the point being is, I don't believe any of that crap that someone has a knowledge to God more so. I certainly don't believe the Pope does. Hell no, man. He's not ordained by God, for heaven's sake, man. And I don't believe what's that Russell guy from the Baptist conference? I mean, all these guys are clowns. The Mormon guys, bishops, none of these guys ordained by God. You, sir, Pope Francis, you are there to tell people about climate change. Crazy. It's just how we put the God in this. Let's say a prayer. Heavenly Father, oh, we are so arrogant towards you. Your power is so vast and mighty and holy that for us to pigeonhole you into a book, it's crazy. And for us to assume that we above all have your sole knowledge of the way, the realm, not just of this earth, which is fallen. We know it is. Our skin is fallen, but of the entirety of your creation. Oh, free us from that arrogance to just shut up and listen. Free us from the arrogance so we can shut up and listen. Look, and I got to be careful to ask for it, because free us from the arrogance could easily set me back. And that's always a scary thing. If I got set back, would I keep my faith? And that's a challenge I don't think I'm ready to take on, Lord. But thy will be done. And I just pray that if thy will means I get set back on my butt and knocked down, that I have enough faith to get back on my knees and always give glory. I just pray for that strength. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so let's go to my man Edison here. God is good always. And don't pigeonhole the Lord. Andy Stanley said it best. He says, we want the Lord to be our own little snack machine. I'm going to put a quarter in. I want to get a good grade on this, God. Here's a quarter. Pull it. Oh, I got a good grade. I'm going to put a quarter in. I want that girl to like me. Hey, oh, man, God, she doesn't like me. Next time I'll put 50 cents in. That was Andy Stanley's a good sermon, good preacher out here at the North Point Community Church. I went there a couple times. It didn't do anything for me. It's too rock and roll. When I like my rock and roll, I like my rock and roll. I don't need rock and roll at church, that's for sure. Especially because some Christian music leaves a lot to be desired. Some Christian music, man, it's friggin' stuff. Ever heard of Jake Hamilton? Oh my goodness, you hear that, you're freaking want to put your head through a wall because it's so inspiring. You're like, man, I'm here. But a lot of the Christian music, like, oh, I do like Matthew West, not gonna lie. Matthew West is freaking, he kicks butt. Never liked Stephen Chapman much. That guy bored me to death. And I think he's the one who killed his daughter by accident. It's horrible, horrible story. But he never did much for me in terms of his music. As a wonderful human being, love him. There's an old band, kind of like a somewhat metalish band from the 90s called Pillar, who did some kind of like hip hop metal, which is actually really good. But that was when metal and hip hop were first merging. And when it first came out, people, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then it really, and then you just want to jump off a bridge. All right. So here's my man, Michael Edison. And he talked about GMO, which I can't stand, as Grantham something. Excuse me. Oh, boy. Everybody wants to come and see what I'm doing. But he talks about the new asset management platform, the GMO as a new platform. The key, and he said, basically, the key to Nebo's success, which is what they're called, is a signature feature, a return to sanity after. What's up, girl? What are you chomping on? Oh, I smoked some turkey yesterday. Ooh, my Traeger. Oh, it was good. Just a wee bit dry, though. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I probably should sous vide it and then smoke it. But I mean, I brined it, and I was like, man, it's still good. It's just a wee bit too dry. Anyway, Nebo's defining premise is that risk is not volatility. Risk is not having what you need when you need it. This frees it completely from the conventional but senseless approach, the search for the level of volatility that's right for the client. All right. Anyway, I want to go down here real quick because Michael holds no punches when he. Let's see. The results a higher chance of achieving your spending and wealth goals than conventional wisdom will typically provide. Let's see. Hold on a second. In most applications of mathematics in the portfolio management field, the mathematics is little more than a smokescreen. It may impress the client and is intended to do so, but it usually does little, if anything, of practical value. I like that. The mathematics in this case does what it claims to do. It minimizes the risk of not having what you need when you need it. All right, that's all good. But right here, the default assumption was that whatever was done in the first place, whatever asset mix must be what also needs to be done in the future, hence rebalancing. There is no reason to believe this. It should have been obvious from the beginning that a dynamic approach is much more appropriate. That is to say, changing the allocation over time or allowing it to change, not only to implement the initially prescribed glide path, but to alter it after response to feedback from the current value of the portfolio. Anyway, that's pretty good. But this separating the substance from the hype. Yep. He's got a couple white papers, which I'll read. But I want to, right here. The Nebo approach attacks random walk, claiming its superior results are due to next-gen Monte Carlo simulations. Does it take care of the sequence of return risk? Yes. But anyway, I want to go down here because I was like waiting. When I saw that he was attacking random walk and the genesis of retirement planning models based on Monte Carlo assumptions, which I use. I mean, you got to use something. But I like this right. I was like, I know he's got to say this right here. This would crack me up. Right here. Nebo's second most recent white paper invokes the recently faddish hokum about how investors, due to their irrationalities, are revealed by experiments such as those by Kahneman and Tversky and others. They invest as a herd, and therefore all you need to do is do the opposite of what the herd does. So basically the idea is this is nonsense. The idea was sparked by studies that had been dead wrong in their methodology, as in the Dalbar study, or reach weak conclusions based on better but still questionable methodologies. Investors underperform their investments. I fell for that when I first started this business. I fell for it. I said, oh man, you're too dumb to invest on your own. You better let me do it because I'm irrational. I'm rational and you're not. Crazy. But what right here? Oh, I was waiting for the hammer. It is here. I said, yes. Oh, man. Could this put an end once and for all to MPT, modern portfolio theory? In an ideal world, this would put an end to articles in finance journals about MPT, mean variance optimization, rebalancing, diversification return, and even sequence of return risk. There could be plenty of articles that can be written about optimizing glide paths to minimize the risk of not having what you need. And Nebo is far from the last word, but at least it points in the right direction to get rid of the freaking insanity that is MPT. All right, so I want to share my comment with my man Michael, and let's see if he wrote back. I don't know. Let's double check. Let's see here. Dude, MPT is such just the whole thing. Markowitz, MPT, all these guys are like, oh, this is science. No, it's not. Let's see what oh boy, we got some sex chat here. And so coming from Michael, a strong endorsement. The problem is, as I see it, that the mean itself is subject to change and paradigm shifts are challenging to recognize. I completely agree with my man, Ray. That's the issue here is the mean, the average is always subject to change, what I'm saying. Thank you all for comments. My endorsement of the product is based on the fact that it's intellectually, logically, and mathematically sound, unlike the decades-long mainstream treatments of the problem, which are decidedly not. This, of course, doesn't guarantee it'll do better than other approaches, including making wild guesses. And I said, oh, man, this is what I said. When I read Nebo launches a vicious attacks against random walk, calling it a worldview that has passed as conventional wisdom in the 1970s, I knew there had to be a takedown of NPT. I waited, and boom, there it is. Last paragraph. Salute, Michael. And I just basically say, go lean a con at the Federal Trade Commission. Stop the monopolization of America. That had nothing to do with anything. But anyway. Oh, boy. Kevin says, I said, because my man Kevin, who I like Kevin, but he says right here about Jeremy Grantham is one of the greatest minds in our industry. I cannot stand Grantham. I said, Kevin, Jeremy Grant and his ilk are funding the largest wealth transfer in the history of mankind, taking from the poor and giving to the rich, a reverse Robin Hood scheme as never before seen in history. I'd love to know how many private planes Grantham owns while he and other elites are forced their green policies on the poor, which is truly life-threatening. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting because Jeremy Grantham can kiss my... He's funded the ICL to Grantham. ICL being the Imperial College of London, which everybody's favorite clown, Neil Ferguson, used his models in which to tell us to lock down, as he was fiddling on his wife, who was married to somebody else. So I don't know, it's just freaking crazy. All right. Oh man, did France win? Come on, Morocco, go Morocco! What's going on? I don't follow soccer, but I'm still going for Morocco. Love to see Morocco win. So all those North Africans can freaking riot in Europe and say, ha, that's what you get. We're so diverse. All right. Big Oil invests its own money to provide a product and make money for the stockholders. Big Green proponents virtue signal about spending your... Oh, well, I don't have any problem with that at all. My man, Northern Capitan, 100%. At least Big Oil is putting their money where their mouth is. But Big Green is just, especially up in your neck of the woods in Maine. Big Green is, they freaking own Susan Collins. At the expense of mom and pop lobster people in Maine. And Susan Collins like, at least Janet Mills was at the freaking, they held a conference, the lobstermen did. At least Angus King and Janet Mills showed up. Susan Collins like, what? You want me to do something? It's such a clown show, man. Now so I was reading my man Robert Barnes the other day talk about Yankee populism and like a Wisconsin populism from La Follette and stuff like that. And I just think the Republican Party has such an opportunity here to destroy the woke without, because the Democrats, in some regard, people want the Democrats without the Democrats, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? We can make an argument, they want free stuff, maybe, but that's what they vote for. They want Social Security, they want Medicare. Whose market forecast is 5.7? My market forecast for next year is that stocks will be down 18% and bonds will be up 12%. But anyway, and so the people want the Democrats without the Democrats. And the Republicans have a freaking wide berth to go through there and be the Democrats of the Democrats and basically be anti-woke, but pro-middle and working class. It's so easy to do, but Susan Collins, they don't want to because they want to get money, and the money isn't in that. The money is in giving away America to the highest bidder. Sad. All right, get ready to get out of here. Yeah, never doubt your faith, 100%. They do believe certain translations of Bibles are more accurate than others. I don't, 100%. I don't argue that. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, is like, who decides which one is pure and which one is not? You, me? Freaking King James, St. Jerome, freaking the Pope. At the end of the day, I just think at the end of the day, the answer is obvious in your heart that God exists in you, and to put that into a book as a source of your faith, it seems to me making an idol out of the book as opposed to making no idols except worshiping the creator of all creation. And that's just my take on it. Doesn't mean I'm right, but God is good always. All right, and get out of here, my friends. We're going to eat some leftover from my smoked turkey. God bless. And I don't know what's going on Rumble. We'll figure that out at one point, but we'll see you guys next time. Thanks now.